A subscriber reached out to me recently after watching one of my videos in which I talked about comics finishing in negative territory for 2018. And it was a good question. It was a provocative question. I actually want to answer it, and I want to hear what your thoughts are. Stay tuned to the video. This content is sponsored by BCW Supplies. Visit them at bcwsupplies.com. Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, I am going to answer a question that was posed to me recently by Comic Book Gallery. And his question to me was, what would happen if variants went away? And he was specifically asking that question in response to a video that I created in which I talked about comics, new comics finishing in the negative for all of 2018. And in that video, I kind of talked about the fact that to some degree or another, the comic market was being held up, if you will, by the price increase that some publishers took in 2018, but also because of variants. And so that kind of prompted Comic Gallery to ask the question of what would happen. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to tease that out of the data, right? We don't have the ability to look at the diamond data and extract from that data the variants, right? The A and B covers, the multiple covers, right? We don't really have that ability to do that line by line, book by book. I mean, we could guess at it, right? But I don't know definitively if we could do it because of the limitations of the data that are given to us, right? That's pretty much why. So let's assume that we had that ability. We would be in a world of hurt. And by we, I mean publishers. Publishers already finished. The industry finished in the negative for comics, graphic novels, and toys in 2018 versus 2017. And I think 2017 was down as well. Like, there have been down years, right? And so if you took variants off the table, it would be bad. It would be ungood, right? If that were to happen. The reality is that the comic publishers are not attracting new readers, new buyers. They're not. What they are doing is grabbing more dollars from the existing comic book readership. And what I mean by that is price increases, right? So you paid $2 or $3 last week or the week before, now I want to charge you $4 and $5 for that same thing. Well, not really even the same thing because the paper quality is a little worse, but essentially let's pretend it's the same thing. Same product, now at a higher price. And then you factor on, I'm going to do a number one, I'm going to do multiple number ones, multiple variants every single week, every single month. Not only am I hitting with the price increase, but I'm also saying to you, you have to get all 9 covers because you don't know which of the 9 is going to be the hot book. So you should buy all 9 right now at my higher price. And so basically what they're doing is reaching into the pocket and grabbing even more money from the exact same people that have always been here, right? And you guys have made the comments on other videos that I've done where you've said, you know what, I only have a certain amount of money that I spend on new books and I have to decide, am I getting this new book or that new book, right? Because my budget is what my budget is. There are some people that are saying, I'm not buying number ones. I'm not buying any book that is above this price. People are starting to put limits in place for themselves because they kind of see what's happening. The issue again is that the readership, the base isn't necessarily growing, right? And I'm being provocative and I'm being extreme for the purpose of illustrating a point. Now, contrast the comic book readership to the moviegoer. Even the worst Marvel movie makes a ton of money. The best Marvel movie makes a whole lot of money. And part of it is, why are the publishers not able to leverage the folks that are going to the movies to watch these characters, do their thing? Why are the publishers not able to tap into the folks that are watching the TV shows, the Supergirls, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Runaways, the Gifted, Daredevil, Punisher, right? You name it. You can't turn on the TV without seeing something inspired by a comic. You can't go to the movies and not see on the marquee a Marvel or DC movie. You can't do it. Why aren't they able to tap into those folks, those people that are watching these things, that are being entertained, entice them to tap into the source material, bring them into the hobby, and just driving down the street today, I actually came up with a couple of ways to potentially do that. Why not do a movie or TV show adapted comic? And I know some collectors have said they don't like that idea. But it wouldn't be for you guys. It wouldn't be for me. It would be for folks that are not actively reading comics as a way to entice them to start reading comics, right? Why not do some kind of movie or TV show adapted comic to bridge the divide? Why not do some advertisements on TV in the middle of the program and just say, hey, go to your local comic shop or your local, Walmart, and pick up this book. If you want to read more, they're at the local comic shop. They're at the Walmart. Go get them. Go read them, right? Why are the publishers not advertising to this broader pool of people who have already expressed some kind of interest in the characters? There are 80 years plus, right? 80 years of rich source material that these folks could tap into that for some reason or another, we're not connecting the dots. Right? We're not connecting the dots, and it's a shame. I was in a comic shop the other day, and let me restate. I was in a comic shop back in December, and there was a guy that came into the shop, and he was walking around the shop looking for Black Panther because he wanted to make an ornament for his Christmas tree featuring the Black Panther. And his question of the owner of the shop, who then asked me the question, is, did they ever do a movie adapted comic of the Black Panther movie? And I was like, I don't think so, right? This guy was there because he had seen the Black Panther and he wanted to create an ornament of that character that he saw on TV, or I'm sorry, on the screen. So why not create something for that type of person? And why not make them aware that there is all this wonderful material right up the street at the local comic shop, right? And draw those people into the hobby. I personally think that it's a wonderful way to go, right? To do an adapted version, to do some advertising on TV. I don't think I've ever seen a Marvel comic book type of advertisement anywhere on TV or in a movie, and it's a wonderful opportunity to do it. There is Free Comic Book Day, which comes around, I think, May 4th-ish or something like that. That to me is a wonderful opportunity to tap into people that aren't actively reading comics. I don't know what Diamond does to actually appeal to the non-collectors, right? I don't know if there's mechanisms that are out there that are actively making the average moviegoer, for example, or even, a teen or a preteen for that matter, aware of the fact that local comic shops are giving out free stuff, and all you have to do is go by, get in line, and you can get a free stack of comics. It would be amazing if there weren't collectors in the line, but there were just average, regular people, right? If you flash back to the 90s, and I know the 90s were a bad time for collectors, right? But if you think about it, your average person was flocking into the comic shop because they thought they were going to get rich. But the point is that they were there buying books, theoretically reading at least a couple of them, right? I'm not saying I want to go back to the 90s, but what I am saying is that if the comic market is going to remain healthy, we are going to have to, the publishers are going to have to find a way to grow the market. They're going to have to find a way to appeal, not to us, because we're going to continue doing this stuff, but to other people, to get new blood in. Why not give, free comics to Boy Scout troops all across the country? Why aren't they partnering up with Boy Scout troops and Girl Scout troops to give them free comics to entice them, right? One of the things that I actually thought about is I have a new library that is opening up in my city. I'm thinking about actually donating comics to that library just so that I could expose some kids to some comics, right? I need to make sure that they're age appropriate, but you know what I mean? Like, this to me is such a wonderful hobby. And many of you have made the point that you don't want to see it go away. You don't want to see it die, right? You want to see it to continue to grow and flourish. And I do as well. I recently had a conversation with a guy on Instagram, and I can't remember his name, but awesome guy. I think he lives in like Dubai or Kuwait or something like that. He's an American, I do believe, but he's living over there. And he started dropping some knowledge on me that just got my mind to explode. And after that conversation, I started doing all kinds of research. And I actually went and looked at Funko Pops. Have you ever looked at a YouTuber who is focused on Funko Pops? The Funko Pop people, YouTubers, make comic books the comic book community look tiny. Tiny. I saw one guy, he had 21,000 subscriptions, and he wasn't even large. It was so crazy that somehow Funko Pops are just appealing to the masses of people. Comics are also, comic book movies and properties are appealing to the masses of people. But then when you look at those people that actually buy comics, it is teeny tiny. Funko Pop, kind of sort of small, but they appeal to so many people. It is insane. It really is insane. And it's almost a shame, because comics have, in my opinion, improved the lives of so many people. You talk about guys that are saying, I learned how to read because of comics. I was a shy kid who found myself in comics, right? You hear these stories. If my family was traveling across the country or I was good in the grocery store, I got a comic book. Comics are important, and it's a shame that there are people that are growing up now that are not getting the benefit of such amazing experiences because we haven't found a way to get the book to them, And so I think that like what Marvel and DC are doing in terms of like Walgreens and putting comics in Walgreens, I think it's fantastic. It's where America shops, right? They're not going to the 7-Eleven anymore. I can't remember the last time I was in a 7-Eleven. But America goes to Walmart. And the fact that they're putting comics in Walmart, I think is a good move, but it's not enough. It's really not enough. I think that the publishers have to do a better job of improving the quality of the books in terms of the writing, the artwork, the paper quality, right? All of it. It all has to be improved because, and there has to be more value there. We have to grow the base. We just can't do what's always been done. I think there needs to be some innovation. I think that people need to step outside of their comfort zone and start to do something a little bit different. And I think if these publishers are able to do it, I think it's going to go a long way to maybe reversing some of these awful numbers that they're starting to see because they're in single-digit negative territory now, right? They're not careful, it'll be double digit soon. And I don't think that the market will crash or collapse. I think there could be some corrections. But the thing is, you see it. They have to see it. And the question is, the cliff is ahead. Are you just going to continue driving towards it? Or are you going to do something different? My hope, Marvel, DC, looking at you, my hope is that you'll do something different. and reverse the trends that we're starting to see. As always, guys, you know, I want to know what you think. I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to make sure you keep it civil, but I want to know your thoughts. Am I on track? Am I off track? Does this make sense? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's have the conversation, because you never know who might be listening. Take care. Be sure to visit BCW Supplies to learn about their 950 plus products for collectors. Products include card sleeves, display cases, comic bags, storage boxes, and gaming folders, just to name a few items. Head over to bcwsupplies.com today for more information.